How's it going, guys? You're tuned in to day 3 of my deload week, and I'm going to start things off by just showing you some of the exercises that my physio has been giving me to help me not only function as a better human being, but also to help me with my injury um, that I've been dealing with. And thankfully, it's been really helping a lot. And I wanted to also speak on how I've been approaching this week's deloads in a bit more detail, adding in why I don't use a belt, I don't use sleeves, or any sort of accessories that I use when I do train. So with the accessories that my physio has been giving me, I was actually having a conversation with a friend of mine today when she came over and surprised me while I was training, and like we were having a conversation about rehab, and I was saying to her that like especially especially when you're looking to take your training seriously, whether you compete or not, injuries will happen. Now, of course, it's always beneficial to see someone, to see a professional like a physiotherapist to then help you through those injuries so then you know what to avoid, but then also to get the service of, whether it be massage, acupuncture, you name it, to then help recovery. But if you are given, or rather, as well, if you are given exercises to help work on that injury so you don't get injured, I feel like you have to then take those exercises just as seriously as you're willing to give the exercises that will help you get to your goals. And that was something that I was saying to them. I feel like you have to almost treat them the exact same way. Like at the end of the day, being injured sucks, but then what also sucks is getting injured again. And you want to make sure that in your mind, one of my clients actually told me this, and she told me like try to reword or rephrase rehab and describe it in a way that allows you to stay more adherent to those movements so you can take it just as serious. And that's my message to you guys. If you're out there and you're injured, or you've been through injuries in the past, like this is a way that you can now deal with injuries, or rehab works so much more better. So just because you're doing rehab does not mean that you're regressing. Like you are progressing still. You're just progressing in a very different way to get past where you were before. So we now go on to the squats. So same as always, working up to that single. So essentially what would be my last warm-up set um, before I get into my openers and competition. And you notice here the only thing I have on is just literally my squat shoes. And I like to, during delos in particular, like I like to train with as minimum um accessories as possible. And what I mean by that is like I don't train with a belt, I don't use knee sleeves or anything like that, because I want to refine my form as much as possible and I want to still feel the exercise. Sometimes when you're lifting with a weightlifting belt or you've got knee sleeves, you kind of have the confidence boost of knowing you can do more because you've got these extra things around you. um so I like to sometimes experiment without them to know that, okay, cool, I still got this, my form's still good, and I could keep progressing. So I hope that helps, guys. Like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.